Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. Should the Bulls draft this player right here, Stephon Castle? I've been watching a lot of UConn basketball lately and just kind of looking at the Bulls roster as a whole. I really do believe there is one player out there in this upcoming draft, and he is a college star right now, the freshman out of UConn, Stephon Castle. He comes in at 6'6", 215 pounds, and he may be the Lonzo Ball replacement for your Chicago Bulls. But before we dive into it, kind of my thoughts on him as a whole, just got to ask you guys if you guys could drop a like on today's video. We're trying to push this video out to more and more Bulls fans and kind of get the hype train around maybe Castle coming to Chicago. So if you guys want that to happen, drop a like on today's video and let's get into it. So Stephon Castle, I was watching UConn earlier today. They were taking on Seton Hall in a Big East matchup, and he just impressed me once again. And I do think the Bulls, if we're looking at their roster for next season, and this is obviously looking in the future, we still have to handle our business, this season. But, looking down the line, I think the Bulls have two players that I really want to build around for the foreseeable future, and that is Ayo Dosunmu and Coby White. And then obviously we bring back Patrick Williams. I would be open to that, but obviously would have to be on I don't want to say team-friendly deal, but I'm not going to open up the Brinks truck for Patrick Williams. But a guy in the draft that I absolutely love, and it is this man right here, Stephon Castle. And, he comes in at 6'6". He was a 5-star point guard coming out of college. This season for UConn, he is averaging 11 points a night, 4.3 rebounds, 3.0 assists, and shooting 47% from the field. And the thing about him, he reminds me a whole lot of Lonzo Ball. He pushes the ball incredibly well in transition. He's always making, it's not like the flashy, look-ahead pass, but it's just getting it up in the passing lanes and making the right reads. And that's what I like about him so much. And this has kind of gotten me to a take I've had on when I'm evaluating these guys coming out of college. And it's these kind of, these players that come from winning programs. And what Hurley has done at UConn, he's just produced a winning culture. And I really do believe in a lot of these players that are coming out. You look at from last year's UConn team. Ryan Hawkins, he's having a ton of success with the Pelicans. I really like what he's doing. Even our very own Sanogo for the Bulls. Obviously, his game doesn't really translate too well to the NBA level, but he's playing very, very well for the Windy City Bulls, and he's impressing a lot of people over there. So I think when you talk about these guys coming out nowadays, I think it matters where they go because of the tutelage he is getting. And he is not a 5-star where it's like he is by himself and they're throwing the ball, 20 times a game and he's running 25 pick and rolls. No, he is doing this within an offense, which I love so much. And, just watching him play, he doesn't really try to, do too much, even though he can. He's almost like restraining himself a little bit. It's like, he has 20 moves in his bag, but he's just still playing within the offense. I think he's going to be a winning basketball player in the NBA. And in terms of his fit in the Bulls backcourt, I think the Bulls could be setting themselves up to be having one of the most dangerous backcourts in the NBA moving forward. I think him next to Coby White, with obviously I love what Ayo's been doing in the starting lineup. He's been playing very, very well. But I would honestly prefer him, running that second unit and still being a very strong defender off the bench. But if you would pair up him next to Coby White, I think there's a little yin to their yang there in terms of that aspect. And listen, man, this dude's 6'6", plays incredible defense. We obviously know Coby White, not the best defender out there, but we know Coby can go get you 30 on any given night. And this guy would almost be the more playmaking, defensive-oriented guard next to him. And you would also have incredible size. If you could run out a lineup next season where it would be Coby White, Stephon Castle, Patrick Williams at the 3, go get a big-time 4, and, obviously probably Nikola Vucevic at the 5, but, I think the Bulls need to get bigger, and I think this guy would be a huge kind of addition, to their backcourt. If you guys haven't already, go look up his highlights on YouTube. He is a ton of fun to watch. He was a 5-star, highly touted recruit, and he will probably be there for the Bulls at that 10 to 15 spot if the Bulls do hang in that, play-in tournament range. He could rise up draft boards if he does have a big March Madness, but in terms of where he is right now, sign me up for Stephon Castle. Big fan of him. He's got great size. You can already see it. I mean, he is 19 years old in this photo I have on screen. Big-time shoulders. He could fill out really, really well. And just even the person that he is. I've watched a couple interviews with him, post-game, and just him actually back in high school after a game. He's just a very well-spoken dude. He's got his head on his shoulders. He looks like he has a really love and strong passion for the game of basketball and just a passion to, get better at it. And I would love him in Chicago. And, maybe this is a situation where, where the Bulls finally decide we need to move off Lonzo Ball this offseason. Maybe try to find a trade partner for him that maybe wants to bring him. And this kind of keeps shifting to this youth movement that is slowly starting to happen here in Chicago. And there's also a couple guys here that I want to tell you guys about in a second. OB or Nurlap Biddum. I want to talk about him to close out today's show as well. But I do want to first tell you guys about today's sponsor, and that is Factor. If you guys go to factormeals.com/BullsChat50 and use promo code BullsChat50, we will hook you guys up with 50% off. Pick your pre-made meals. They are prepped and cooked to perfection. Then all you got to do is heat up and enjoy. If you guys live a busy lifestyle like I do, Factor is an easy solution. It literally only takes 2 minutes. I absolutely love what they have done for my life. They've definitely made it better. But Factor is the perfect solution if you're looking for fast, upscale options that are done easily. It's also flexible for your schedule. Get as much or as little as you need by choosing 6 to 18 meals per week. Plus, you can pause or reschedule your deliveries at any time. There is no prep, no mess. Factor meals are 100% ready to heat and eat, so there's no prepping, cooking, or cleanup needed. Head to factormeals.com/BullsChat50. Use code BullsChat50 to get 50% off. That's code BullsChat50. Factormeals.com/BullsChat50 to get 50% off. Because I like you guys so much and I want you guys to get hooked up today. Make sure you guys, or I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. Get hooked up today. Factormeals.com/BullsChat50 and use that promo code BullsChat50. So just want to wrap up my thoughts real quick on the Stephon Castle situation or the idea of him coming to Chicago. Listen, I just think the Bulls, I want them to get these more young and athletic and these long guards that they already have. They've already kind of gone to that with Kobe White and Ayo DeSumo. He fits right in. And, I think the Bulls, yes, position of need, a wing or a big-time power forward probably makes a little bit more sense. But in this year's class, there aren't really many of those guys. There's a guy on Tennessee, though, Dalton Connect, which we will talk about in a video coming up this week. He is flying up draft boards, the forward out of Tennessee, 3-level scorer, super athletic. He's another guy that we'll talk about on a video later this week, so make sure you guys are subscribed. But I do want to just talk about the Bulls season. They did have that loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. That was, I believe, Friday night when you guys are seeing this. And listen, it was just a bad loss for Chicago. They kind of hung around in that late third quarter. Biddum hit a big-time three in the corner that cut it to 10. But just watching that game and just seeing the different level that a team like Milwaukee is on comparison to Chicago, I keep on thinking back, what did the Bulls front office think was the max potential of this unit at the trade deadline? Because obviously there was a decision to be made. They said, we are standing pat once again. We do not want to move off any of our assets, even if it means losing them this summer for absolutely nothing. They made a decision that we are not going to make a move. And then you go play a team like Boston right out of the All-Star break and get you hung around there for a little bit, but you ended up getting blown out in the end. Milwaukee at home. Again, you hung around there at the end of the third quarter, but end up getting blown out when the game is all said and done. And, it just kind of gets me back to this, the max potential for this Bulls team. You somehow win the play-in tournament. I could see it happening. Right now it's the Hawks in the 10th seed, which we would play. We obviously know Ayo DeSumo absolutely owns Trae Young. We have just owned that Hawks franchise for the last couple of seasons, so I could see them winning that. But then you're going to have to go play the Magic, the Heat, even Philly. Maybe they fall with Embiid for a one-game kind of March Madness series to get into that 8 spot. Well, then you're going to have to go play Boston in a 7-game series where Boston right now, they look like one of the better NBA teams that we have ever seen. So I just don't know what the max outcome of this season could be. That's already why I'm looking for, the NBA draft or free agency, because the Bulls, it's going to be an active offseason for this team. I think this roster next season, game 1, hopefully looks a whole lot different, or at least it should. But I do want to say thank you guys so much for watching today's video. No graphics on today's show, but just want to tell you guys about Stephon Castle, a guard I really like in this year's draft class. Make sure you guys drop a like and also hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already. Hey, Bulls season, we're going to be starting going live for some of these games coming up here shortly. So make sure you guys do stay tuned. See you all next time. As always, go Bulls.